Okay, so we've created an AR NMBP, an animation blueprint for the assault rifle. Now we need to make sure that we're setting the animation blueprint for our weapon based on our data table. So let's go back to our weapon.h and add to our data table. And we're going to add an animation blueprint using a T subclass of. So T subclass of, we're going to use uanim instance. And we're going to call this AnimationBP, and we'll make it edit anywhere, blueprint read write. Now we're going to set this on the data table, and once we do, then for each weapon type, there'll be a animation blueprint chosen. And in weapon.cpp, where we're setting all of our properties, we can set the animation blueprint here as well. So we're going to do that by calling getItemMesh to get the mesh. And then the mesh has a function called setAnimInstance class. And setAnimInstance class can take a U class, and this is going to be the U class for the anim instance. That's going to be gotten from weapon data row, and we're going to get AnimationBP. So now we're setting the animation blueprint here in onConstruction using the weapon data row. So let's compile this. And here in the editor, we're going to go to weapon data, and we now have an AnimationBP variable in the data table. So for submachine gun, we're going to select SMG AnimationBP. And for the assault rifle, we're going to select our newly created AR AnimationBP. And we'll go ahead and save all. And now whenever onConstruction gets called, it's going to set the animation blueprint for that weapon. All right, so we've compiled, and back in the editor, we can check to see if we have the correct animations playing. Now, again, when we have something in the onConstruction function, the weapon has to be moved or changed. So if I select this assault rifle, you'll see the anim class is none, but if I move it, suddenly it's AR AnimationBP. Same with this one, and this one here should be the SMG AnimationBP, and sure enough, when I move it, there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play, pick up the assault rifle, and let's see how these work. In fact, let's go to full screen by adding a viewport, and let's pick up an assault rifle, and let's reload. And that is the correct animation for the SMG. We'll swap to the assault rifle and reload. And it looks like there's a problem. So we need to figure out what's going on here. Okay, so in the shooter anim instance.cpp, we have B should use fabric, which is true if we're in the unoccupied or the fire timer in progress state. And this Boolean is used in shooter AnimationBP when blending between using fabric or not using fabric. We're using should use fabric, that Boolean. So we need to check to make sure that we're in the correct combat state. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play and search in the world outliner for shooter character and select the shooter character BP. And in the details panel, I'm going to search for combat state. And let's make sure that this is updating correctly. So first I'm going to fire the weapon, and we're going into fire timer in progress. Now if I reload, we're in the reload state and everything is good. Now as soon as I pick up an AR and I fire, well, let's first switch to the AR and then fire. Fire timer in progress is the state we're in. Now let's reload, and it looks like we went to the reload state but went straight back to the unoccupied state. And that's not good. So what's happening when we reload? Well, let's take a look. Okay, so I'm here in the reload montage, and it looks like I have a mistake here. I have the finish equipping anim notify. It looks like it's right here in the reload AR montage section. And that's because the reload AR montage section should be moved a little bit over. It's slightly inside the equip animation. And so this finish equipping was being called and setting the combat state back to unoccupied. So that's a very subtle little mistake that could get you into trouble. So as long as the reload montage section is in the correct spot, then we're not getting this anim notify called when it shouldn't be. So I'm going to save that after fixing it. Now let's give this a try and see if the reload animation looks correct for the assault rifle. So I have an assault rifle. First I'll just check the SMG reload. That looks good. And now I'll switch to the assault rifle and check this reload. Perfect. That looks beautiful. Now, of course, if things aren't exactly where they should be, you can go in and tweak them. You can edit the animation. You can change poses. You know how to do all that. So that is going to conclude this video. We now have a second type of weapon, the assault rifle, and we have the assault rifle animation blueprint, which is set in the data table. So we really only need to worry about the weapon type enum, which we can set in the details panel and swap between weapon types. And so this makes it really easy if we want to add new types of weapons, such as a pistol. All right, so in the next video, we're going to add different crosshairs per weapon so that once we start the game, our crosshairs will be different depending on the weapon we're using. So we'll see you in the next video.